makes me so damn confused, like two rivers that run right through you.
So here I am in Liberty, or near Liberty, Kentucky. A little cabin, part of Sandy Acres. You'll see more in the video. It's a very beautiful place. I'm based out of Florida, in North Fort Myers at the moment, but lived overseas in Thailand before that as a missionary kid, 20 years, before moving to Florida for the last 12 years. There's a little bit of background, but I got a pretty wild story to tell y'all about my time in this little cabin in Kentucky. Here with my dog, Miko. She's an American Akita. Hello, Miko. Yep, there you are. She's been staying with me. She's my ESA, my emotional support animal. I am a man who has been living with schizoaffective disorder. Bipolar type 2 is a mood component. It's like schizophrenia on the spectrum of like those types of diagnoses that has had a huge impact on my life since I was about 18 and 19 years old, in the prodromal stage, in my latter teens. Before I had a brief time in Rome, Georgia, at Berry College, trying to carry on with my life through a lot of ups and downs and get my degree. And dropped out of that college and going back to Thailand for one last year when I first got my first kind of break into psychosis and and the symptoms I've had carrying on to this day that I fight with every day, and I've learned to function to a fairly high degree relative to many who struggle with this disorder. And that's through a lot of the help of the current science that is not quite there in understanding this, but is fighting for that, and the treatments that are available, for better or for worse, frankly, there's going to be some pitfalls there, but and I've had a lot of experiences that have culminated to this point in my time in this cabin in Kentucky here, which I drove out here by myself with my dog to enjoy the wedding of my cousin Caitlin with her husband McKinley, who was just newlywed in Liberty, Kentucky. That's why I came out here to begin with, out of my normal routine in life. I've been doing freelance AV work on top of being involved with audio engineering throughout the past over 10 years of my life. Being trained in a recording studio in Fort Myers was my roots there. I've worked many jobs despite my illness that have, kind of started in more menial work, like call center work and little restaurant work and stuff, like anybody else. And worked through most of my recovery with schizoaffective disorder. And eventually became even experienced in things like operations and management and supervision people. And for, with my own like shortcomings and successes in those fields, and making the money I needed to at the time I needed to, having the resources I needed to, having the help from the community that I needed to, and helping the community back as I needed to through my time on this earth, trying to survive and to thrive despite the adversities that face me, and also with the blessings and the privileges that I have in life that have helped me get to this point and will help me carry on further in this little beautiful little wood cabin. I'm about to walk my dog, Miko, and I'm going to discuss this recent series of events more. There's a whole lot to talk about in my experience that has culminated to this point. Just a little bit of background to give you a little teaser. I'll be writing a book about my life to offer whatever insights that I can, mainly directed at shedding light on my mental illness that is often one that is overlooked, misunderstood, or seen as scary, or like making you some kind of like crazy person who can't like exist in life and who can't be a part of society. But that doesn't have to be the case, whether or not we have all the answers and the treatments available to properly give those people the breath in life and the ability to function through the challenges that they have. And a fundamental thing is that everything is very holistic. It's very holistic, and the necessity of our understandings of, just like with anybody, how we must be able to have our basic needs met and be understood just enough and be accepted by enough people and those around us, and have that support network that I've been very blessed to have throughout most of my life, so that despite detractors, people don't understand, haters, or the factors in life that put great challenges upon us, that we can continue to carry forward, and we can continue to offer what we can to this life. And there will be a book that I'm working on. I'm a fairly blessed with the ability to write about things, and I've have a lot of background in just different type of stuff. I've tried to diversify my experience in life to offer as much as I can to have like a functioning career and income and ability to survive in this world at peaks and troughs, just like the waveforms and vibrations all around us, right? The very physics of nature, if that makes sense. And if I'm saying too much and you can't keep up, that's okay. I'm just like spitballing here. But basically, I feel like I need to like speak out about who I am really deep down, whether you know me or you don't know me, and what that has meant here, culminating to this point in this cabin near Liberty, Kentucky, which was a pretty wild freaking trip. It didn't quite play out as planned, and it still hasn't. And we're still trying to. My father had to come down, and he's helping me get my car ready to drive back to Florida because I can't quite do it on my own, given the circumstances. And I'll kind of cut through some of that experience here while showing you how beautiful it is out here in Kentucky and Sandy Acres. And shout out to Perry, my Airbnb host, who has been very accommodating and understanding through this time, as we've taken a little bit of extra days here for me to stay with my father, who flew in, who just so happened to be up north from Florida as well, doing some stuff nearby, and the friends that we have embedded in the Kentucky community, and the strangers that I've met who have been a part of the community, who have helped me through some very dire challenges that I ran into along my stay here, to help us pull through and get me back home and get on with my life and get on with the path that I have, like we all do in life, for the things that we can offer the world, because that's a fundamental lesson that I've learned. And I've often lost hope and wanted to give up, and that's not the case anymore. I'm a fighter. We're Burnett's. That's my last name. We may not always look it, but we're tough motherfuckers. We are tough people in this world, and we can survive so much adversity with the help of God, however that should be defined, with the higher order that exists in so many levels all around us, with the systems like our ecology that supports life itself and allows for people like me and you to have experiences on this earth that are important to us as persons and are important to the world around us through life and death and what lies beyond, to give what we need to bring all this towards what I describe as the human project, and a project that exists beyond humanity, because there's probably life all abound and things that are all working in tandem to make sense of this universe that we live in. The existential questions. By the way, I am a philosopher by some training and some learning. Not perfectly so. I'm not the most expert person at these matters, but I did eventually obtain a degree in philosophy through my illness and through a lot of challenges at FGCU, Florida Gulf Coast University, in Estero, Fort Myers area, and in Southwest Florida. And so a lot of that feeds into my discussion here and experience and trying to describe everything that has been a very pivotal point in my life here. I feel like I need to share this with the world to start, and I will dive into greater detail in a book and writings that I will offer, and maybe some other little interesting, if you will, if you're able to hold on to this point, videos that talk about many things about the existential experience of being a human on this good green earth. All right, I'm gonna get my dog ready to walk. I'm gonna show you the cabin out here. I'm gonna talk about a little bit more specifically of my experience in this cabin and how that kind of plays into everything that I'm talking about here. Thank you. All right, so this is where I've been staying near Liberty, Kentucky. There's my dad driving up in my RAV4 I got recently, used RAV4 that's been having some problems that we're trying to get fixed so we can drive back to Florida. These videos will be broken into different parts so people can kind of watch as they need to and listen to the message I have as I walk my dog here and show you the beauty of this area in Kentucky and the beauty of the experience that I've had and what I'm trying to offer. Thank you very much. Go.